Yeah, I'm going to give you a little shop tour real quick this morning, then we'll get started on the brakes on this dually truck over here. All right, so this is a bolt bin, bunch of bolts, throw it in a bucket, come around. There's a step ladder, another little ladder. Here's my toolbox and a few things on top of my toolbox. There you go. And come around here. Here's another toolbox or something. There's a chain on the floor, a battery charger. That's a cart full of crap. There's a lawnmower. And last but not least, there's a mop bucket, which I never use. And so there you go. There's a tour of the shop. Now it's time to get down to business. Here is a Chevrolet truck or GMC or something, and it's a dually. Having brake problems, and the first thing I always do, guys, when I pull them in with brake problems, open the door, listen, pump the brakes up. I'm going to raise it up on a lift and spin the wheels and make sure that none of them are sticking, you know, like a sticking caliper or something like that. So all I'm doing is pumping these brakes up, you know, getting pressure to the calipers. We'll raise it up now and spin the wheels, see if any of them are sticking. And that one's not sticking. Can you hear that, guys? There's a clue to his brake problems right there. Listen. So the front ones are okay, still in pretty good shape, but these back ones wore completely out. They're metal to metal. The back side is worse. Right there, you can see the pads are right against the rotor, guys. So the first two bolts are these caliper bolts. These two right here. There's one on the top, one on the bottom. They're 18mm heads on the bolt. Then we'll take this bracket off of there. These are rough, guys, because you can't put no ratchet behind here. You got to use a wrench to get these off. Oh. Yeah, let me fix you back. Oh, camera's moving around. I've got to hire a camera guy, but you guys are cheap and don't send any money, so I'm having to do it by myself right now. Mistake was made. I thought you could take these two out, and I was wrong. I don't know what I was thinking. The bracket's got to come out first. But see there, it's too long. It hits the leaf spring. You can't get it out, so I got to take these caliper bracket bolts off first, and then you can take these off. It is very early in the morning, guys, so you will have to forgive me, whether you like it or not. And we'll take these off. And these bolts, I think, are a 21mm. I don't have a 21mm wrench, so that's 13/16. Holy moly. And they're pretty tight. And I can use a socket and a ratchet on the bottom one. One thing better than a socket or a ratchet or a wrench is a zip gun. And there's the pads right there. You can see that one's metal, that other one is in bad shape too. And in Kentucky, what we call this when something's wore out like that, it's either plumb wore out or slap wore out. It's not just wore out, guys. Not in Kentucky, it's not. Now, let me show you this rotor over here. And there's the back side of the rotor. You can see where it's been metal to metal. And that rotor right there, guys, is slap wore out. So just a brief intermission before we finish working on this brake project. And guys, I need to tell you, I love my dear sweet wife. LG, I love you. A lot of times I would love to just trip her into a pile of broken glass. But then there's other times where I just want to kiss her right on the mouth. So LG, I love you, and you're a wonderful woman and a great wife. Here's the caliper. This part's very important. I always take an old pad that we just took off, set it on your caliper. And this is a caliper compression tool, I guess, or something. A lot of people use a C-clamp. It's okay, whatever you got. Tighten this junker up. These are cheap, guys. I don't know, $7 or $8, $10. I don't know what they are now, but and you just want to screw it in nice and slow and easy. But what you're doing here, and that piston, what you want to do is feel how this caliper goes back in. You need to make sure that as you turn this, that the pistons are going in nice and smooth. And because this has got 2 pistons, I'll show you a little trick with that too. You can't put this tool in the center. If you had a C-clamp, you could, but I don't have one. So I just take these channel locks and I'll just squeeze this side down as I tighten this other side. The ideal here is that caliper goes down nice and smooth, guys. If it doesn't, if it's catching or binding or anything like that, it needs to be replaced. Make sure it collapses real smooth. Time to take these rotors off. My hatred for ton trucks runs deep. I hate these things, but I need to teach you guys how to do it, I guess. So that's the first step, is to get this axle out. There's a clip right here. If you can see it, guys. See that? And that's how that comes out. And for the key right there, just take your magnet, pull it out. Here's a socket right here that fits this nut. And you just fit that socket on there, guys, and take the nut off. Now the rotor will just pull right off. So this right here is part of the seal, guys. It's got to be replaced. Those seals are a 2-piece seal and they're junk. This is the emergency brake shoes that fits inside the rotors. Getting the rotors off, very simple, guys. All you got to do is hit these studs out. And I'm going to hit them directly with a hammer, and people are going to say you're not supposed to do that, whatever. They're beveled, guys. You're never going to mess the threads up if you just smack them quick. Get them out of there. That comes right off. There's your rotor, rotor right there. That's got to be replaced. This, that right here, the back side, that's that seal I was telling you about. It needs to be removed and replaced. The old seal looks like this. It pops right out of there. You guys shouldn't have any trouble. That part is normally still stuck on the axle, and you got to pry it off or tap it off. The new seal, 2-piece seal, just like the old one. You just need to very gently go around and put a little gear oil right here, guys, on this seal before you install it on the truck. And now it's time to get the rotor back on. Make sure your surfaces are all clean right here. I clean them with brake clean and everything, clean and dry and nice, and then slip your rotor and hub back on. When it comes to this nut right here, guys, it's either gonna, you have to line that key up. So it may be a little bit tighter, it may be a little bit loose. The best way to do it, the way I always do it, is to tighten it down pretty good and then back it off until your key slot lines up. Now your key slot's lined up. You don't want it too tight, it'll burn the bearings out. You don't want it too loose. Obviously, it'll be sloppy. The seal, the gasket around this axle is still good on this one, guys. If it's not, you know, replace it. Clean your slides up with a little brake clean. Check underneath them. Make sure there's not a big bunch of rust buildup under there. That's not what you want. On this truck, you have to put these pads on. That's the next step, guys, on these trucks. It has to be done this way. There's no other way to get them on this truck, this model. This is the way we have to do it. And while you're at it, clean up your slides and grease them. The rest of this job, pretty self-explanatory, guys. You know, put your wheels on. Listen, when you put calipers on, make sure the hoses aren't twisted. A lot of times, guys will twist the hoses, put the calipers on, and I think it's just carelessness. Watch what you're doing. Torque your wheels down. The only other thing I'd recommend, guys, is when you get done, go in there, pump your brakes up while it's still up off the ground, and then spin your wheel. Make sure nothing's binding or locking up on there. Take it for a test drive, and you're done, guys. Hope you like this video. Do me a favor, go through all my videos, pick out your favorite one, and share it on your Facebook page. I'd appreciate it, guys. It helped me out a lot. We'll see you next time.